Good evening, parents, teachers, staff, and peers. I'd like to thank you all for coming out tonight to this special night. I'd also like to thank the Grade 9 Fundraising Committee. We worked alongside with all year to create unique fundraisers to build what we have here tonight. Most importantly, I'd like to thank Mr. Sim, voted the best teacher in Canada for the 3rd year in a row. Truly, I thank Mr. Sim. The most strongest and most intelligent mentor I've ever. Sorry, Mr. Sim, I can't read the rest of what you wrote. All joking aside, when I started writing this speech, I came to realize just how little I knew about writing a valedictorian speech. Of course, when the day before the due date, you ask Google for help. So first up, find a theme, make an outline, remember my audience, thank people, reflect, and so on. Wow, lots to cover. But as I was trying to understand how to write it, I started to reflect on how much MGG has changed over the past decade, and how great it was to be a part of it. It was a decade ago when I entered the halls of MGG. Obviously, it was much different from now. I vividly remember walking down to my classroom and laying around the school that I would call home for the next 10 years of my life. The old school always carried a rather spooky vibe along with it, whether it was from the well-known haunted hallway or the squealing mice of the rat hole. The haunted house hosted every October only exasperated this mood. However, this was only one side of the story. Over the 4 years I stayed there, my classmates and I took pride in our lunchtime intramurals and soccer games. It was through these activities we began to receive a glimpse of what the spirit of MGG was like. The start of grade 4 was an exciting time for Breezewood students. The influx of people from in and around the neighborhood was tremendous. With the arrival of new staff and peers, it felt as if it was a new start for all of us. It may not have looked anything like the old school, but the MGG spirit I remembered remained the same. We were introduced to our first set of options, including indoor and outdoor running club and ultimate frisbee. Division 2 also brought out the competitiveness in all of us through games of Crazy K-Ball and Student Olympics. These years were one of the most memorable for both newcomers and students of the old school. As we transitioned into junior high, it was hard to believe you were in the same school anymore. We were being educated in a different hall by a brand new set of teachers working collectively to prepare us for high school. Just as any other grade, it appeared quite challenging at first. Both time and participation, we adapted to these changes. It was in grade 7 that we were introduced to more options. For example, school sports such as volleyball, badminton, cross-country running, indoor running, ultimate frisbee club, basketball, track and field, and clubs like chess and Connect 4 tournaments. And although our schedules became cramped, it was during these activities when I was participating that I realized I had these other interests. And it's when you're participating, and maybe only when you're participating, that you become more aware of those hidden passions. Along with the extracurricular activities, junior high also brought more freedom. And when we used this freedom wisely, creativity began to develop. And we learned more about ourselves. For those interested, I did find a theme to focus this speech on. It came from a quote of Elon Musk. I could either watch it happen or be a part of it. I feel that quote relates well to our past 10 years. It's true, we grow the most when we're participating. High school will open ourselves to a large spectrum of options, and it is our responsibility to take advantage of this. It's important that as we advance into the next chapter of our lives, we stay curious, try different things, and most importantly, don't sit back and watch it happen. Be a part of it. Before I bring this to a close, I'd like to thank our teachers for acting as our mentors, guides, and models to our educational journey. Without them, I wouldn't be the person I am today. And I'd like to thank my parents, my friends, my family for making the last 10 years of my life the greatest they could have been, and giving me the opportunity to speak here tonight. Good luck to all of you, wherever you choose to move on. I hope everyone enjoys the night and cherishes the last month.